Something was already wrong when the thunder hit the house so hard it shook. The walls, like someone had slammed their fists into them, not rolled across the sky, not echoed in the distance. It felt close, too close. I froze where I stood, one hand still on the light switch, listening to the low hum of the electricity struggle to stay alive. The room flickered once, twice, then the power steadied. That should have calmed me. It didn't, because right after the thunder, I heard something else, a sound that didn't belong to the storm. It was faint, soft, like a knock. At first, told myself it was just the house settling. Old walls do that during storms. Pressure changes, temperature drops. That explanation lasted about 3 seconds, because the sound came again, sharper, this time deliberate. I stood there, breathing shallow, staring at the front door, even though I was nowhere near it. The rain hammered against the windows, sheets of water sliding down the glass so thick I couldn't see the street anymore. Another flash of lightning lit the room, and for just a moment, I thought I saw movement in the hallway reflection on the TV screen. I blinked, nothing. I laughed under my breath, a nervous sound that didn't feel convincing even to me. Thunderstorms mess with your head. Everyone knows that. The noise, the isolation. I told myself that. I walked toward the kitchen, every step slow, the floor creaking under my weight. Each creak sounded louder than it should have, like the house was announcing where I was. Halfway there, thunder hit again. This one was different. It wasn't loud. It was sudden. A crack so sharp, it felt like it split the air inside the house. I flinched hard enough to stumble, grabbing the counter to steady myself. My heart was already racing now, a dull ache forming behind my ribs. That's when I noticed the silence. The rain stopped, not slowly, not fading out. It just stopped. No wind, no rain, no distant thunder, just silence. Too sudden. I stood there, listening, waiting for the storm to resume. Storms don't just pause like that. They don't hold their breath. Another flash of lightning lit the room, and this time, reflection didn't lie in the dark screen of the microwave door. I saw a shape behind me in the hallway, tall, still not moving. I spun around so fast I nearly slipped. The hallway was empty. My breath came out shaky. I pressed my hand to my chest, feeling my heart slam against my palm. I scanned every doorway, bathroom, bedroom, closet. Nothing. I let out a long breath and shook my head. Stress. That's all this was. Long day, loud storm, rain filling in gaps that weren't there. I turned back to the counter. That's when I saw the mud, a wet footprint right by the back door. Fresh, dark water slowly spreading into the tile. I stared at it, my thoughts slowing down, refusing to line up. I hadn't gone outside. I knew that. The door was still locked. I checked it without thinking, my fingers trembling as they wrapped around the handle. Locked. Another footprint appeared beside the first. I didn't see it form. It was just there. My mouth went dry. Before I could process that, the thunder came back. Not outside, above me. The ceiling groaned as if something heavy had just shifted on the roof. Dust drifted down from the light fixture, floating in the air. I backed away slowly. Then the knocking started again. This time was no doubt where it was coming from. The front door. 3 slow knocks. Knock, 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 knock. Each one spaced, perfectly apart. I stood, frozen, staring at the door, my mind screaming at my body to move, to do something, anything. The porch light flicked on by itself through the frosted glass. I saw a shadow, just a shape, no details. Lightning flashed, bright enough to burn white through the glass, and the shadow didn't move. My phone buzzed in my pocket. The sudden vibration made me gasp. I pulled it out with shaking hands. No signal, of course. The storm had knocked it out earlier, but there was a notification, a voicemail, time-stamped. 1 minute ago. I hadn't heard my phone ring. I didn't press play right away. My eyes kept drifting back to the door, to the shadow that still hadn't moved. Another knock, louder. This time, I pressed play. All I heard at first was static, then breathing, slow, wet, and underneath it, thunder. Not the storm outside, the same sharp crack that had shaken my house. My own voice came through next, whispering, double quotes, "Please stop knocking." I dropped the phone. It hit the floor with a hollow clatter that echoed through the house. The knocking stopped. Silence rushed in again, thick and heavy. I stared at the door, waiting for something worse to happen. Lightning flashed. The shadow was gone. I didn't move for a long time. I don't know how long. Minutes, maybe more. Eventually, the rain started again, softer this time, like the storm had lost interest. I told myself it was over. That's what I wanted to believe. I locked every door, checked every window, pulled the curtains tight. I didn't sleep. Sat on the couch, lights on, listening to the storm slowly drift away by morning. Everything looked normal. No footprints, no mud, no voicemail. My phone showed no record of it at all. I almost convinced myself it had been a stress dream, almost, that afternoon. As I was cleaning the kitchen, I noticed something I hadn't seen before. It's a faint crack in the ceiling above where I'd been standing when the thunder hit, and pressed into the dust on the counter, just beneath it. AHANTT, too large to be mine. The weather report said there were more storms coming that night. I didn't wait to find out if it would knock again, and sometimes, when thunder rolls in the distance now, I still feel like it's listening. The first scream I heard wasn't loud. It was close, and it sounded exactly like my name. I was already awake when the thunderstorm started, lying on my bed with the lights off, counting the seconds between lightning and thunder like I used to as a kid. The storm felt wrong from the beginning. The thunder didn't roll. It snapped, short, violent cracks that made the windows rattle like they were about to give up. Then I heard it again, my name, not shouted, not whispered, spoken normally, right outside my window. I sat up so fast my head spun. My heart slammed hard enough to make my chest ache. I strained to listen over the rain, telling myself it was just the storm twisting sound into something familiar. That explanation almost worked until the voice spoke again. Closer this time. Same tone, same rhythm. Like someone standing just beneath the glass. Knowing I was awake, lightning flashed and filled my room with white light for half a second. My reflection stared back at me from the dark window. Nothing else. I leaned forward, slowly, every instinct screaming at me not to. The rain streaked down the glass in thick lines, warping the view of the yard below. "Hello?" I called out, hating how small my voice sounded. No answer. Thunder exploded overhead, so loud I felt it in my teeth. The power flickered, then steadied. I waited for the voice to return. Instead, I heard footsteps, wet ones, slow, careful, moving away from my window. I stayed frozen, listening as the sound faded into the rain. I told myself it was probably someone walking past the house. Maybe a neighbor caught in the storm. Maybe someone drunk and lost. I didn't believe that. I grabbed my phone from the nightstand. No signal. Just a spinning icon where the bars should have been. Typical. Storms always messed with reception out here. Another flash of lightning lit the yard, and this time I saw him, a figure standing near the fence line, soaked and still, head tilted, slightly toward my window. He wasn't waving, wasn't moving, just standing there. Thunder cracked again and the light vanished. When it came back, the yard was empty. I exhaled shakily and rubbed my face, trying to force logic back into my thoughts. My eyes were playing tricks on me. Fear does that. Darkness does that. I climbed out of bed and pulled the curtains shut, my hands shaking as the fabric slid across the rod. That's when the knocking started. Not on the door, on the side of the house. 3 dull thuds. Slow, measured, each one followed by thunder. Like the storm was answering it. I backed away, my pulse roaring in my ears. The knocking stopped, placed by something worse, scraping fingernails, dragging lightly across the wall. I covered my mouth to keep from making a sound. "Let me in," the voice said. It was right outside the wall now, not the window, not the door, out the wall. "I know you're awake." Lightning flashed, and the lights went out completely. Darkness swallowed the room. I stood there, barely breathing, listening to the rain and the faint scrape moving closer to the corner of the house, toward the front door. My phone vibrated in my hand. A text message. Unknown number. "I'm getting cold." My stomach dropped. Another knock echoed through the house. This one from the front door, louder than before, confident. I didn't respond. I couldn't. The voice sighed. "I don't like the rain either." Thunder rolled low and deep this time, lingering, vibrating through the walls. The door handle rattled once, then twice. I ran not toward the door, away from it. Down the hallway, my bare feet slapping against the floor. I locked myself in the bathroom and slid down against the tub, pulling my knees to my chest. The knocking didn't stop. It moved. Front door, back door, side wall, always just a few seconds apart, like it was testing the house, learning it. My phone buzzed again. Another message. "You're quieter than before." Lightning flashed through the small bathroom window, briefly illuminating the frosted glass. A shadow passed across it, tall, close. I squeezed my eyes shut. Thunder cracked so loud it felt like something had split open in the sky. The knocking stopped. Silence rushed in. I waited, counted my breaths. 1, 2, 3. A soft tap came from the bathroom door. Just once. "I can hear your heart." I don't remember screaming. I don't remember moving. The next thing I knew, the storm was gone. Morning light filtered through the window, pale and harmless. My phone lay dead on the floor beside me. No messages, no missed calls. The house was quiet. I checked every room, every door, every window. Outside, the yard was soaked but empty. No footprints. No sign anyone had been there. I told myself it was over. That night, another storm rolled in as the first thunder cracked. My phone buzzed. One new message. "I don't need the rain anymore." The thunder clapped so close, it felt like the sound came from inside my chest. And that's when something answered back. Not thunder. A voice, low, calm, right behind me. I froze with my hand still on the light switch, heart slamming so hard, I thought I might pass out. The power had already gone out, leaving the house lit only by quick flashes of lightning through the windows. Each one burned the rooms into my eyes, then ripped them away again. I stood perfectly still, listening. Rain hammered the roof like it was trying to break in. Wind screamed through the trees outside. The storm was violent, angry, but that voice didn't match it at all. It sounded patient. "Don't turn around," it said. My mouth went dry. I hadn't heard footsteps, hadn't heard a door open. 1 second, I was alone. The next second, I wasn't. I whispered, "Who's there?" The thunder rolled again, shaking the walls. For a moment, I thought I'd imagined everything. Then the voice sighed. I said, "Don't." That's when I realized something was very wrong. The voice didn't echo, didn't bounce around the room. It sounded like it was coming from right next to my ear. Lightning flashed, and I caught my reflection in the dark TV screen across the room. Just me, no one standing behind me. My legs started to shake. I slowly lowered my hand away from the switch, every movement careful. It's like I might set something off if I move too fast. The voice laughed softly. You hear it too, don't you? Hear what? I asked, my voice barely working. The thunder cracked again, sharper than before, shorter, like something slamming into the sky instead of rolling through it. That, the voice said, it's closer tonight. I didn't ask what it meant. I already knew. For weeks, thunderstorms had felt different, too focused, precise, thunder hitting right after lightning every single time. No delay, no distance, like it was right above the house. I backed toward the hallway, my eyes never leaving the TV screen. My reflection moved with me, pale and terrified. The voice moved too, not louder, not closer, just present. You shouldn't stay here, it said. I swallowed hard. Then why are you here? Silence. The rain slowed for just a second, like the storm was holding its breath. Because you keep listening. A crash of thunder shook the floor beneath my feet. Something rattled in the kitchen. A cabinet door slammed open on its own. I flinched. Voice chuckled. See? It likes you. I turned and ran down the hallway, past dark doorways that felt deeper than they should have. Lightning flashed through the windows, showing the walls bending slightly. Like the house was breathing with the storm. I ducked into my bedroom and slammed the door, twisting the lock with shaking fingers. My heart pounded so loud, I was sure it could hear it for a moment. There was nothing but rain. Then knock. Not on the door, on the wall beside my bed. I backed away until my legs hit the mattress. You're closer now, the voice said, calmly. That wasn't supposed to happen yet. Another knock, harder, thunder, answered immediately. Perfectly timed. I covered my ears, but the sound still felt like it was inside my head. The room flickered with light, revealing something that made my stomach drop. The shadow on the wall. It wasn't shaped like a person. It stretched upward, its two tall edges blurred like smoke. And every time lightning flashed, it moved just a little closer to me. I shook my head. This isn't real. The voice sighed again, disappointed. That's what the others said. Others. I grabbed my phone. No signal, no power, just a black screen reflecting my terrified face. Another flash of lightning. The shadow was right beside the bed now. I felt pressure in my ears, like being underwater. The thunder didn't just sound loud. It sounded close enough to touch. You feel it, don't you? The voice asked. The way it listens back. The rain stopped all at once. Dead silence. My ears rang that. Then one single thunderclap exploded overhead, impossibly loud, and the shadow snapped toward me. I screamed and dove under the bed, curling into myself, gasping for air. Dust filled my mouth. My heart felt like it was going to tear itself apart. Above me, the bed creaked. Something heavy sat down on it. The mattress dipped inches from my face. You hear it breathing now, the voice said softly. That's how it knows where you are. I clamped my hand over my mouth. The thunder came again, slower this time, deeper, like footsteps. Step, boom, step, boom, each one closer than the last. I squeezed my eyes shut. Please, I whispered. The footsteps stopped. The voice sounded almost gentle. Too late. A hand brushed the floor beside my face, not touching me, just close enough. Lightning flashed so bright, it burned white through my closed eyelids. The pressure vanished. The bed lifted. Silence rushed back in. I crawled out from under the bed, sobbing, my whole body shaking. The storm was gone. No rain, no wind, no thunder. Morning light filtered through the window. It's like nothing had ever happened. I didn't sleep again that night, or the next. I moved out a week later, but storms still follow me. Sometimes, when thunder cracks close enough, I swear I hear. It hesitates, like it's waiting for an answer. And once, just once, I whispered back. The thunder woke me up by shaking the house so hard, thought something had slammed into the roof. Not rolled, not echoed, not hit. I shot upright in bed, heart racing, ears ringing. Rain battered the windows in heavy sheets, the kind that makes the glass flex inward. Another flash of lightning lit the room pure white, followed instantly by thunder so loud I yelled out without meaning to. The timing was wrong. There was no delay. It sounded like the storm was right on top of me. I reached for my phone on the nightstand. 2:17 a.m. No notifications, no alerts. Just a weather warning banner stretched across the screen. Severe thunderstorm. Seek shelter immediately, as if I had anywhere else to go. I swung my legs off the bed and stood. The floor cold beneath my feet. The power flickered, the ceiling light dimming and brightening in uneven pulses, like it couldn't decide whether to stay alive. Then I heard it. Someone knocking, not on the door, on the window. I froze. My bedroom was on the second floor. The knocking came again, slow, careful. 3 taps, spaced evenly apart. Tap, 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 tap. My throat went dry. I took a step toward the window, then stopped. Lightning flashed, lighting up the rain-streaked glass. Nothing there, just my reflection. Pale and wide-eyed, I laughed under my breath, shaky. It's just branches, I whispered, even though there were no trees that close to the house. Thunder cracked again, so loud it made my teeth buzz. And this time, something spoke inside the sound. My name, clear, precise, like someone standing outside and shouting directly at me. I stumbled back, slamming into the bed. No, I said out loud. No, no. The storm answered. Another thunderclap rolled through the house, rattling picture frames, shaking the walls. The lights went out completely, plunging the room into darkness, broken only by lightning flashes. I heard footsteps downstairs, slow, heavy, wet. Each stepped, squelched like soaked boots on carpet. I hadn't heard the front door open. I hadn't heard anyone come in. I backed toward the bedroom door, my hands shaking as I wrapped my fingers around the handle. 1, listened hard, counting the seconds between thunder and lightning, like I'd learned as a kid. 1, 2, 2, the thunder came before. I reached 3.2 close. I cracked the door open and peered into the hallway. Darkness swallowed everything beyond. A few feet, the air smelled wrong, sharp, metallic, like ozone after a lightning strike. Another step sounded below me, then another, slowly coming up the stairs. I whispered, "Who's there?" The thunder answered instead, shaking the banister. The footsteps stopped, right at the top of the stairs. Lightning flashed, and for just a fraction of a second, I saw a shape standing in the hallway, too tall. Its head nearly brushed the ceiling. Its outline flickered, unstable, like it wasn't fully there. The light vanished. The shape didn't. I slammed the door shut and locked it, my chest heaving. I backed away until my calves hit the bed, glued to the door. The doorknob turned, not rattling, not forcing, just slowly twisting, testing. "I know you're awake," a voice said from the other side. It sounded like mine, same tone, same rhythm. I clamped my hands over my ears. "Go away," the voice sighed. "You always say that." Thunder crashed again, the loudest yet, and the window behind me exploded inward. Glass sprayed across the room as freezing rain and wind poured inside. I screamed and dove onto the bed, covering my head as shards clattered against the walls. The curtains whipped violently, snapping like flags. Outside, beyond the broken window, the storm churned unnaturally fast, clouds spinning low and tight, lightning crawling through them like veins, and in the middle of it, a face, not fully formed, just suggestions of eyes and a mouth in the swirling clouds. It leaned closer to the window. "You hear me every time," it said, not with sound, but with pressure, with vibration, with thunder. My whole body shook. The doorknob stopped turning. The room went very still. Then the bed dipped beside me. Something sat down. I didn't look. "I see OULDN, single quotes, through the mattress." Cold crept into my bones. "You talk back now," the thing beside me said softly. "That's new." I squeezed my eyes shut. "Please." A pause. Thunder rolled far away for the first time all night, almost disappointed. "It's too late for that," it said. "You answered." A hand brushed my shoulder, not grabbing, not squeezing, claiming. Lightning detonated directly overhead. The house shook violently, walls groaning like they were about to tear apart. The pressure in the room vanished all at once. Gasped. The bed was empty. The hallway was empty. The storm outside began to move away. Thunder growing distant, lightning slowing, rain easing into a normal downpour. I lay there until morning, surrounded by broken glass and soaked sheets, afraid to move. When daylight finally came, the house looked damaged but normal. No footprints, no signs of anyone inside. Just one thing carved into the wooden window frame, deep and fresh, my name. That night, the forecast said clear skies, no storms. I believed it until I heard thunder in the distance. And this time, it sounded like it was calling back if you made it this far. Don't forget to check the comments. I want to know something. When thunder hits close to your house, does it ever feel like it's listening to?